Coming up on Bloom, how to challenge yourself in life and stick to it.
Something that they do to lose weight, but really what made this client cry in particular was the transformation, because they didn't recognize themselves at the end of the challenge compared to who they were when they started.
And holistic chef Adrienne Falcone-Godsell has tips to help you champion your nutrition. Plus, a way to protect your home from severe weather. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. Our show today is all about never giving up, never surrendering. The experts you'll meet today believe you can do anything if you just put your mind to it. And one challenge gaining traction is called 75 Hard. For 75 days, participants must complete 5 critical daily tasks that double down on exercising twice a day, sticking to a rigid nutrition plan, drinking a gallon of water a day, taking a progress picture, and strengthening your mental fortitude by reading 10 pages of a book, all without rest, cheat days, or substitutions. Our next guest put it to the test and found out alongside her clients just how challenging it is.
Good morning, friends. Getting my 45-minute outdoor 75 hard exercise. So I had a client this morning, and in person, cry on me twice.
Joining me now is online wellness coach Jamie Filer, who completed this incredible challenge. Jamie, welcome to Bloom and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Gayle. I appreciate it.
I want to do this really badly. I've actually set up in my mind when I want to start, what time of year, kind of leading into the holidays. And there might be some crying involved because
Absolutely.
You say it's an emotional process.
100%. 100%. A lot of people think of it as a diet. It's something that they do to lose weight, but really what made this client cry in particular was the transformation, because they didn't recognize themselves at the end of the challenge compared to who they were when they started.
And I think this is really so important because, you know, we talk about asking yourself, why am I doing something? And if it's just to look a certain way or it's superficial, you know, that doesn't have a lot of staying power. Yeah. If you can really change your mental well-being through the process, that's what makes it stick.
100%. If I could promise you, if I could assure you, if I could guarantee you that by the time you finish 75 days, you would have more mental toughness, you'd have more resilience, you'd have more grit, which would lead to you being better at your career, a better wife, a better mother, you'd be like, forget the 20 pounds. That's so insignificant relative to everything else I could get from this.
All right, so let's talk about, you know, how you went through this process, what made you decide to do it, and personal changes and gains that you experienced.
Yeah, sure. So I got lucky. I started it during COVID because I didn't have a whole lot to do. So I said, yeah, getting 2 45-minute workouts per day, especially living in Florida, one of them has to be outside. So I said, I have all the time in the world to do this. And I was just doing it to lean out. I just wanted to be just a little bit tighter. Again, Florida summer body. So I embarked on it, and the diet wasn't hard. And the workouts were fantastic. We were working out of my garage at the time, and I was going for walks with my dogs, taking a photo of myself every single day, reading 10 pages a day, making myself read 10 pages a day, avoiding cheat meals and alcohol. It was a test that I'd never embarked on before. I'd never made myself read 10 pages a day since I was in grade school. And now all of a sudden as an adult, I said, I have to hold myself accountable to something much bigger.
So how did it personally change you? Like, did you feel different more than physically?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is you learn a lot about your time management skills. Because again, trying to squeeze in 2 45-minute workouts a day, regardless of what you do for work, is difficult. And one of them has to be outside. So now I'm bearing the elements. I'm, getting my dogs out for a walk. I'm getting vitamin D. So literally my entire disposition changed because I was now having to work my day around 75 hard, but also my personality was changing because at the end of a week I said, man, I can't believe I just did all of that every single day for 7 days. Let's go. Let's keep going.
I think that's amazing. And the man who developed this, you know, as you said it's different than dry January. It's different than doing something for Lent.
Yeah.
This was designed for the mental change.
100%. It's about grit. It's about resilience. It's about mental toughness. It is not a diet. Do not use this just to lose weight, because you're missing the point.
Yeah, and I think too, we've become a society of I can't do it, or you know, we come up with excuses. But I believe that these challenges, like even myself, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm a 57-year-old woman, you know, who's gone through menopause and all the things. I don't want to be like, well, I can't build muscle, or I can't keep my body looking a certain way. I found out, not through a 75 hard challenge, even though I definitely want to do it, but I did figure out through like weightlifting and working out that my body can do a lot more than what my brain thinks it can.
100%.
My brain gives out
Way
first
longer.
and foremost. And if you can get in that zone and push through it, that helps you push through so many other things in life. Like it's not just the workout. The workout is tertiary when you think about it.
Yeah. Again, this speaks to, it's not just the 2 45-minute workouts, but at the end of the day, when you're exhausted and tired and all you want to do is crawl into bed, you remember you have 10 pages to read. And you make the time and you said, damn, like I could have done anything else. I could have given up, but I read the 10 pages. I got my check mark. Like 75 hard lives to see another day.
So it might cut into your Netflix time, it might cut into your scrolling time, but at the end of the day, we don't need to be locked into a virtual world. We need to be present in the world that we're living in today, because you really only have one shot.
100%. And imagine what you could learn and how much you could grow if you chose to listen to podcasts or audiobooks or called your mother for that 45-minute walk. Again, it speaks to how much more enriched your life would be.
I love it. I really appreciate you sharing your experience with our Bloom viewers.
Of course, my pleasure.
All right, and Jamie's going to stick around to put me through a fitness challenge when Bloom returns. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. We are back, and one of the big rules of the viral 75 Hard Challenge is to get moving. And here with a 75 Hard inspired workout is online wellness coach Jamie Filer. Jamie, thanks for sticking around.
Oh, so excited to do this.
So talk to me about, you know, what we need to think about. Part of the challenge is to get outside and exercise, whether you're walking, running, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
But then what do you need to be doing for the other part of the challenge?
Honestly, anything you enjoy. If you want to go to a gym and do chest for 45 minutes, that's your prerogative. If you want to create a little at-home 45-minute circuit just with your body weight, that's your prerogative. If you want to use your kid as external leverage and weight, then by all means do that for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it's important to make, you know, do this where it's convenient so you can actually get it done and meet the challenge.
And stick to it, just like you said. It's all about consistency, right? The nutrition portion has to be something that you can be consistent with. The workout has to be something you can be consistent with.
All right, so take me through some moves that maybe somebody could do at home.
Of course, absolutely. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with squats. And the reason we're going to do that is because your legs are a major mover, a major muscle group, which means more fat burned per rep.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
And then we're going to change to lunges. So now we get a little more butt involvement. You're going to step back, step forward, push off that front leg to go back. Easy. Look at you, balancing everything. You've got it going on.
I'm trying.
All right, now we're going to take it to the floor.
Okay.
And what I like about, again, 75 hard, working out in general, it's modifiable.
Okay.
We can do push-ups on our knees. We can do push-ups on our feet.
I'll
So
do
wherever, okay, I'll
So
do.
these are the beginners?
That's
The-
it.
All right.
That's it. Hey, I like that you called them beginner and not girl push-ups.
Yeah.
Because that's it, right?
We're just getting started.
There you go.
And then to do one correctly, and I don't know why, my push-up game needs help.
Yep.
But you're just going like that low? or lower?
Why were you on your knees before? You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're doing really well.
All right. So you're just taking it to. You don't go all the way down.
You don't have to. I mean, because.
But you can.
Sometimes you just end up staying there.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Right?
I'd
Yeah.
be the one napping during
That's
the hard
it. Right. This is it. You're doing great, Gayle.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Right.
So what's next?
Next, we're going to flip around what everyone wants to work on, their stomach. So again, to modify, you can bring your knees in, knees out, knees in, knees out. To make it harder, you turn yourself. You can notice the difference.
That is a
right?
big difference. You look at me
Yeah,
struggling
exactly,
over here.
exactly. It just shows me where we need a little bit of work.
And by doing it that way, you're doing just obviously putting more pressure on the core. Help me figure out how to do that one. That's the first time I've ever tried it.
That's the other thing, is that a lot of people do sit-ups, a lot of people do crunches, but they completely neglect their lower back. Your core is the weight belt of your body. It goes all the way around. So when you do something like that, you're using your lower back to brace you,
Okay.
and you're using your abs to stabilize.
All right.
So you'll go in,
out.
Yep. Don't forget to breathe. Yeah, there we go. Nice.
That's a lot
Perfect.
harder.
100%, 100%. Yeah, and that's what we want, though. We want something challenging that you can work up to, because again, we're talking 75 days. Those are going to be easy by the time you get to day 60, maybe even day 45.
So you're starting like with the beginner push-ups, if that's where you're at. But the name of the game is to try to like increase your
Correct.
stamina and your
Correct.
strength.
Stamina, strength, again, confidence, right? You're going to have more confidence going from the beginner push-ups to the regular one over the course of 75 days.
Okay, I love it. Any tips for getting over the mental hurdles of completing the physical side of this?
No one's watching you. That's it. Just remember that this is between you and you. The progress photos that you have to take every single day, social media doesn't have to see them. Your significant other doesn't have to see them. It is just something you're doing for you. So get over yourself.
I like that. Get over yourself. That is something I've needed to, because I get in my own head about everything, and then it's just a downward spiral. So the exercises that we're doing, these are all using our own body weight to build strength.
Yep, exactly.
So you don't need an expensive gym, but if you want to work in some bands, you want to work in
bands, like we said at the beginning, you want to work in your kid, you want to work in a car battery.
Right.
Anything can provide external resistance.
And make it fun. I like the bringing in your
Exactly.
kid part, because then your kid's learning and watching with you.
And seeing you do it and maybe modeling your behavior further down the line, absolutely.
Well, congratulations to you for completing the 75 Hard Challenge. That's
Thank you.
incredible. And thank you for inspiring our Bloom viewers to maybe give it a try, whether it's a hard challenge or a soft challenge. Take it to the next level. We're going to share this on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen of Tampa.
Welcome back to Bloom. Being prepared for hurricane season is important, especially when it comes to keeping our homes secure. Joining us now to talk about custom hurricane impact windows is Renewal by Andersen's Vice President of Marketing, Chelsea Zerpola. It's so great to see you, Chelsea.
So wonderful to see you.
So talk to me about exactly what are hurricane impact windows?
So when you're looking at regular windows, they have a different way that they protect your home. Because of the nature of the Florida Building Code, and again, preparing for hurricane resistant glass and hurricanes, you got to make sure you have the right windows in your home. They're a lot stronger, they have thicker glass, and it allows for when a projectile were to hit the glass, it keeps it intact so it doesn't damage your family or your home. So it's really important to have the right windows installed that have the impact glass.
Now, can hurricane windows be customized to match my home's aesthetics?
Absolutely. That's the great part of Renewal by Andersen. Acclaim Impact is the name of our window. And what's great about the Acclaim Impact is it allows you to be able to still have the same customization protection as regular windows. So your aesthetic maybe have a beautiful black chic interior, we can customize to whatever you would like in your home.
Now, a lot of people install shutters, but hurricane impact windows provide the protection, and you can still open and close them just like a regular window.
Absolutely. There's no restrictions in regards to your windows. You can open them, close them. You don't have to worry and rushing out there to put up the shutters and all of those things. Your home is protected. You don't have to worry. And with us, I think it's 23 days out from hurricane season starting. All the professionals are saying prepare today.
So how do I begin the process to replace my windows with hurricane impact?
So you definitely need to give us a call. Go to rbafla.com. Our design consultants will come out to your home and really spend the time to listen and understand your concerns and make sure that the right windows are installed in the right places and give you all that advice and really building the windows of your dreams.
And I think it's important to tell our viewers that Renewal by Andersen has been around for a long time. It's a trusted company. All of these products are made here in the United States.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of our important areas where we're very proud of. They're manufactured in Minnesota, and we can be proud of that. Not only are they made in the USA, but they're custom made, Energy Star rated, 4-time JD Power Award winner. We're really proud of our windows.
And I think it's also important to know that Renewal by Andersen helps you from start to finish. A lot of people don't realize that they might be able to buy windows one place, but then they got to figure out the contractor, then they got to figure out the permitting, and then they're left with all these details, but you're turnkey.
Absolutely, from start to finish, all the way from the design process all the way through install, and we're there to hold your hand through any process, including the fully transferable warranty, which is really important to homeowners today.
Yeah, and then also just the transparency of working with somebody that comes to your home and they're guiding you as to what to do, because this is an investment, and a really important one, but it's an investment nonetheless.
Absolutely, and you want to make sure that you're walking the process through the correct way. You know, you don't want to have to continue to do this over and over again until you get it right. You want to do it one time, and you want to do it with the right company. And if you install the correct impact resistant glass windows, you, like Renewal by Andersen, you get to keep your view. A lot of times that's the big factor, is making sure that you don't have to have those 5-inch thick frames to be able to handle it, but you could have the sleekest, most beautiful frames in Renewal by Andersen.
Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And head to rbafla.com or call 813-377-3136 for more details about custom coastal impact windows and doors. Take advantage of this limited time offer and call today to set up your complimentary design consultation. Mention code BLOOM when calling to receive an additional 5% off your project. We'll be right back.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Renewal by Andersen of Tampa.
Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. Fixing your food fixes your life. That's the motto double certified nutritionist Martha Van Camp lives by. She joined me on the Bloom Health Club and shared her journey of transformation, how she lost 135 pounds and maintained after learning a well-rounded approach to nutrition.
Starting at the age of 40, I was 275 pounds. And then I thought, okay, because I'm 6 foot, I just want to get down to 200. And so when I approached 200, I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm good now. And so I really had no end goal. I just wanted to feel better, look better. And what I was noticing is that with every little bit that I lost, my confidence was soaring. I was becoming a more patient mom. I was becoming a better wife because I was being more vulnerable in my journey. So over the period of 8 years, I've lost 136 pounds. That's kind of where I live. And look, whenever I tell someone how much I've lost, their first question is always, well, how long did it take you to lose that? And I tell people that's the worst question you'd ask. Your question should be, how do I do that? But for full disclosure, it took me 8 years because I wasn't in a rush. And so I would take these times of like doing little sprints and then learning how to maintain, because maintaining the weight loss is so much harder than losing. And I think that's where traditional diets fail us, because there's an end point and you're like, okay, I'm here. And then what'd you learn? How are you going to sustain this? What are you going to do next? Like, how are you going to make this a lifestyle? Even at the age of 40, I didn't know what a macronutrient was, because we were all taught to count calories, right? Yep. And we didn't realize that it's the macronutrients, which are lean protein, complex carbs, healthy fats, that make up the calories, right? So at the age of 40, I thought, I have got to figure this out. There's nothing left for me to do. And as I started to lose weight, I saw how all these women were approaching me thinking, oh my gosh, if she can do it, I can do it. What's the secret sauce? And I realized I had figured out the secret sauce. It's about learning how whole food nutrition, not processed, not Pop-Tarts, not nachos and margaritas, really are what our body needs.
You can stream the entire conversation with Martha and watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We take a deep dive and have extended conversations with some of the top guests that we have right here on Bloom. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. There is a popular challenge gaining traction called 75 Hard, which involves exercise and healthy eating, all to create mental fortitude. But whether you're involved in something this extreme or you just want to raise the bar in your life, celebrity dietitian, nutritional therapist, and the author of This Is What You're Really Hungry For, Kim Shapira, has 6 simple steps to reach your goals. Hey, Kim.
Hi, Gayle. How are you?
Doing really well. So we are talking today about 75 Hard, but you want to talk about what happens on day 76.
I do. I so badly, and I want the whole world to see and think about what happens the day after they start a challenge, right? Because I want them to stay in it so they can have long, healthy lives.
So let's talk about the reality of challenges. I'm certainly on a personal level not against them. I like to use them throughout the entire year to kind of recalibrate myself, because I don't want to stay on a downward spiral. I want to find ways to ebb and flow and lift myself. So we want to do this sustainably. So what do you recommend to the folks that you coach?
Well, definitely my 6 simple rules, which are all in my book and all over my Instagram. But really, they're very simple, and they're not unlike the Hard 75 challenge. They're similar. It's just doing it so you're habit stacking and creating a lifetime of this consistent behavior. And what's really interesting is the paradox in people who are living this lifestyle. They're having fun. It's the people who are watching the people living this lifestyle and being in a consistent routine. They're the ones who think it's hard. And so once they can start building into these habits, they start recognizing, wait a minute, I feel better. I'm having less doctor appointments. I'm taking less medications. Everything in my life just seems more in flow. And that's the point.
All right, so let's walk through the 6 steps. The very first one, rule number 1, is eat when you're hungry.
Yeah, people never focus on hunger. They focus on what foods they should be eating, and they're missing what their body is naturally telling them. And we all have the innate ability to recognize when we're hungry and when we're feeling something else. We just need to bring our mind into this moment to see what we need.
Now, this next one's going to throw people, especially people who love donuts, but you say eat what you love.
Yeah, there is a caveat that you have to eat the foods that love you back. And so this is where the change really occurs, because when you start recognizing, wait a minute, I thought I loved a donut and I ate it when I was hungry, but now I'm recognizing I'm getting stomach aches, I'm feeling tired, maybe this food doesn't love me back. And this is where we go from a very positive place of not restricting, but more paying attention to our bodies and opening our minds to what else can I eat that is going to make me feel better.
The next one, eat without distractions.
Yes, so we eat for emotional reasons. We eat because the food is in front of us, and we eat for cravings. But I only want people to eat when they're physically hungry.
All right, and another one that I really love, it's a lot easier than people might think, and that's to take the 10,000 steps every day. If you're moving a lot, like sometimes I get 3,000, 4,000 steps in a day at work, just, you know, moving around, you know, not taking the golf cart to and from the parking garage here, you know, parking in the furthest away spot. You know, that's the way to get your steps in, and then you can go out for a walk.
Yeah, but what you're also doing is you're talking with your hands.
Yes.
And so just any way that we can be a little bit more fidgety, the more that we can do. Our body needs to be in motion, and we're very, very sedentary.
No doubt. There is no doubt about that. What about the drinking 8 cups of water a day?
Yeah, so this is a way that we naturally detox our body, and every single one of our cells requires a detox, and we do it by drinking water, and it's how our body feels safe and hydrated, and it makes us healthier in every single way. So 8 cups of water, not including the coffee and tea and stuff that you're getting.
Okay, and just so people can see the next rules, because we're running out of time, but get 7 hours of sleep at least. I know they're saying women should get 8 to 9. We need more sleep, but sleep is where the magic happens.
Yes, it really is. And the average American's getting 6.5. So we really need to move the dial there.
All right, Kim, thank you so much. We're going to, of course, put all the information about your book and all of your tips on bloomtampabay.com, but we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom trivia question. Approximately how much of your body weight is muscle? 30, 40, or 50%? We'll have the answer later on Bloom. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back. Healthy eating can be difficult, but here with tips on how to champion your nutrition is the food whisperer, holistic chef Adrienne Falcone-Godso. How's it going?
We got this.
I'm excited because we are talking about challenges, hard or soft, and these are ways to meet the food needs.
Yes, and all those cravings that you have when you're told, when your inner child is told you can't have something, right?
And then you want it all the more.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be sampling some rice cauliflower, some hearts of palm rice, and we're going to use the shirataki noodles also in some of our favorite or new to be favorite dishes.
Okay.
So right here we have our Mexican fried rice that we're doing with ground beef, grass-fed, pasture-raised, of course. So we have all the healthy fats, and all we need to do is to add this rice cauliflower into. You can pour all of that in there.
All right, will do.
And we're going to stir that up. And it's just onions and peppers, some taco seasoning. You can use either fresh Roma tomatoes, or you can use fire roasted tomatoes if you want to buff things up and you don't want to be cutting anything, right? Because we're all about finding fast, simple, tasty ways to do things.
And those are healthy in the can?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. Well, no, absolutely not. Absolutely. However, if you don't like to be cutting things, then it's a way for you to be getting them, and make sure they're organic.
Okay.
Because there's always a question, well, even though it's a non-BPA lining, then what are they using for the lining? Or is not having a lining in an aluminum can any better? So, just so many things to talk about.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and so then over here we have our chicken and yellow rice. So I have the onions and the bell pepper and the saffron and some paprika. And I am using the hearts of palm rice, and actually my store was out of the hearts of palm rice, so I took the hearts of palm linguine and I chopped it up in my mini chopper.
Nice, that's a good
that
idea.
Happen. Yeah, and then we're just using your traditional saffron, salt, pepper, paprika in this. We're not using any mixes that may have MSG in them, so we have that going on. And then we're revisiting our shiitake mushroom stroganoff over here, which we're going to make with dairy-free with our coconut milk. Yeah, and if you want to add beef, of course, you can always add beef. If you don't want to, then you can always just add a little bit of steak seasoning, which does not have any meat in it at all.
Yes.
Right?
But you at least get the feel of eating meat.
Yes, yes, exactly. And shiitake mushrooms are so good for you anyhow. And we're adding the shirataki noodles to that. So that's really, I mean, if you can't have pasta, you can't have noodles, well, you can have the shirataki noodles. You could also have the hearts of palm linguine or rice.
Now,
So-
you talked about that this is going to help stave off cravings. How so?
Well, these 3 items in particular, the hearts of palm, rice and or linguine or spaghetti, the cauliflower, the rice cauliflower, they all have that same mouthfeel. So you are able to still have that mouthfeel going on while getting nutrition as well. And that's the other thing that we have to when you're talking the macros. And with your hearts of palm, you have fiber, which is essential in our lives, especially when we're detoxing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then we have the Mexican fried rice here. And then the shirataki noodles are a great substitute to get that pasta-y texture going on. They really don't have much fiber in them. However, when you're trying to find a way to have some nutrition and to have that mouthfeel happening, it's a nice way to do it.
I love this.
So you have all these yummies, and you can let me know which one you like best.
Oh, I love them all. I love all of your food. It's so delicious. I am partial to this, and it makes me think, you know, a lot of times one of my daughters and I, we don't like the tortilla on Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So adding this cauliflower rice is a great idea, because if not, we just have like beans or meat in a bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it gives it that way. So whether it's a Candida protocol or a detox or paleo or keto or hard 75 or soft 75, or if you're just trying to find different ways to be enjoying your food and know that you're still having that great nutrition, it's a way to do it.
I got it in my hair. I got it in my
I did good then.
You know it's good. These can be worked in for lunch, dinner.
Yes, absolutely. Or if you want breakfast for dinner for breakfast, or I did breakfast for dinner the other night. So it's just one of those things that you can always have, and they're great meal prep also because they hold.
They do.
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. So these are
Yes.
greire things, because, you know, one of the big things about staying on track with any plan, and again, we're not promoting only 75 hard.
Right.
You know, I'm like, apparently everyone's like, Gayle, you got this.
There we go. We got
I'm
you.
the best, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's much better.
There.
All right. I finally got it. It's a sign of her amazing recipes, which, by the way, we're going to put all of Chef Adrienne's recipes on bloomtampabay.com. She's always so gracious to share them with us. Thank you for putting all this together.
Thank you, Gayle. Thank you, Bloom.
I don't even have a winner. They're all
flavors
winners.
of health.
Yeah. All right, we're going to be back with more Bloom right after this.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Alpha Foundations.
Welcome back to Bloom. Summertime is the perfect time for backyard fun, especially for pool owners. But it's important to check for any warning signs of concrete or foundation damage. Joining me now to talk about concrete repair solutions is Alpha Foundation's Assistant Sales Manager, Howard Davis. Howard, it's always such a pleasure to see you.
Likewise, good to see you.
So this is the time we're all getting into our pools, but we need to make sure that it's safe. And why is the concrete surrounding your pool deck prone to damage?
Yeah, great question. You got to think, when they build a pool, they dig out all that earth and they attempt to put some of it back. When they put in your pool shell and they pour that wall around it, that dirt remains completely disturbed, as well as all the plumbing that goes through it. So if there's any issues where they have washout, dry out, or poor compaction, you're going to experience concrete settling.
Now, do you have any tips that pool owners can implement for a safe experience this summer?
Absolutely. You got to make sure, first of all, the water is controlled. Anytime you introduce water into your foundation, whether it be your home or your pool, then you're going to recipe for disaster experiences.
And how can you help with other concrete cracks around the home, on the driveway or sidewalks? I know pools are very important, but people might have other needs.
Yes, we see the same situations that we see on pool decks, on driveways, interior slabs, sidewalk. Anytime you have a lot of concrete, whether it's washout, dry out, or poor compaction, we can come in and repair it so that you don't have to break it up, haul it away, and then wait weeks or months for the concrete to cure and be able to use it again.
So you actually come in, you have a team of people come in, assess the situation, come up with an action plan, and you're not only improving the foundation, but the aesthetics too, right?
That's right, that's right. We look at it from a holistic perspective, meaning your entire property. What is the soil and the story that it's telling us from a water management situation to be able to protect your home, your pool decks, and your driveways and sidewalks.
Now, what additional services does Alpha Foundations provide?
We are a full solution foundation repair company, so we repair slab homes that are sinking and settling, crawl space homes that are on columns or piers, and we also do crawl space encapsulations for those that want to remove the humidity and actually control the environment under their home.
And you know, we always like to bring in folks that the consumer can trust, because when you're having work like this done on your home, you want to make sure that the company you're working with has experience, and you guys come with a lot of experience.
Yeah, we've repaired over 1.5 million homes. We started over 20 years ago. And we're also nationally backed by a national brand, which gives us many long-term and lifetime warranties.
Yeah, and I think that's really comforting to hear, because there are a lot of people out there posing as experts, but really at the end of the day, you know, homeowners end up losing money because they're not getting the correct work. You've got your work backed and you're getting in there and getting the job done.
100%. The most expensive job's the one you got to repair twice.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Any other advice? Because I know now we're coming into the rainy season, so probably now's a good time to get this done.
It is. Definitely go out and look, because the worst case scenario is someone trips, hurts themselves, especially with the kids around the pool. So if you see some cracks, see anything that's differentially settling, give us a call for peace of mind. If nothing else, we can come check it out for you.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Howard. We always appreciate it when you come on Bloom.
Likewise. Thank you.
For more information, you can call 866-277-6336 or visit alphafoundations.com for a free inspection. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Alpha Foundations.
As women, we find ourselves balancing a lot in life, and when we take time for ourselves, many of us feel selfish. But our next guest says putting yourself first makes you a role model, not a bad mom. Joining me now is mom life coach Carla Marconi. It's so good to see you, Carla.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this, because so often we feel guilty for not putting ourselves, you know, first sometimes, and we really need to.
Absolutely. If we don't, then we can't sustainably give to our family how we want to, and we oftentimes see moms that are burning the candle at both ends, and then they end up sick, or you know, then they do the like occasional vacation to take a break, but then it's like back to the same cycle that is constantly burning them out.
And we want to be good role moms as, you know, as mothers. And I can think back to when I was burning the candles on both ends, doing everything and never giving myself a break. I don't think I was putting my best foot forward. I was frazzled, I was tired, I was anxious because I was overwhelmed.
Absolutely, and that's a great example. So our kids are constantly watching us, whether we know it and whether they know it or not. Unconsciously, they're copying a lot of the habits that we do. So if we're frazzled, then they're probably going to think, oh, that's the norm. I see this with my mom every day. Then, you know, they're going to start, not always, but like they're constantly copying us one way or another. And so instead, if we put ourselves first, and by that can look different for everyone, but it really comes down to making time to give yourself some self-love through literally just like taking time to drink your coffee, or waking up a little earlier to have time for yourself. Even just setting boundaries can be really, really good, so that you're not constantly giving, and that way you can be in that grounded state. So we're showing them how to have self-respect, self-love, how to say no when we're doing it out of guilt, and then ultimately how to have a more balanced life instead of burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, it's such an important lesson for our kids. You say there are 4 ways to put yourself first. What are they?
Well, there's a million ways to put yourself first. And again, it can look differently for everyone. But it can be as simple as like stop the evening scroll. Like as moms, especially now with the phone, the kids go to bed and you're like, oh, finally I have time for myself. And oftentimes the first thing we do is, let me just check my phone. And then 30 minutes go by and you've been on your phone And oftentimes it's doing things that might drain you instead of fuel you. So instead, why don't you put the phone away and do something that nourishes you? Even just going to bed early can be a simple thing like that. Number 2 is waking up maybe a few minutes early. I wake up an hour early to get my workout in and just have time for me before the house wakes up. So just making that time. And then I mentioned earlier boundaries. I think that's a huge one. Saying no more, I think, is a huge love letter for yourself, because you can't do everything. And when you choose really well what you do, then you can show up and be really present for your kids, for yourself, and everyone.
I think another thing, we only have 30 seconds, but let's end it with giving yourself a little grace.
Yes, I forgot about that. And honestly, that's the biggest one, because we're so hard on ourselves. And giving yourself grace is literally like give yourself a break. Like, you're doing so much and you're doing great and you're doing enough.
It's important, because we do have a habit of beating ourselves up. All right, well, it's such a pleasure to see you, Carly. We appreciate all the advice that you give to our Bloom viewers.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we're going to share Carla's advice on BloomTampaBay.com. We will be back with more Bloom right after this, so don't go away. We're back with this week's Bloom Health Highlight. Health news you might have missed this week. There are new questions surrounding the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force that recommends women start getting mammogram screenings earlier, starting at 40 through age 74. Some experts are now objecting to the fact that the agency doesn't include official screening recommendations for older women over the age of 74, and many people want to know why. Well, it's being reported one of the main reasons that women over 74 were excluded is that the age group was not included in clinical trials. The medical director for the national radiology provider RadNet said when the major randomized controlled trials were performed in the 1970s and 1980s to show how effective mammograms are, they didn't include enough women in those age groups to confirm their necessity. Well, it's time now for today's Bloom trivia question. Approximately how much of your body weight is muscle? 30, 40, or 50%? The answer is 40%. Skeletal muscles is one of the most dynamic and plastic tissues of the human body. In humans, skeletal muscle comprises approximately 40% of total body weight and contains 50 to 75% of all the body's proteins. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Bloom today. You can catch Bloom anytime by following us on social media. We're on all major platforms, so get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the innovative breakthrough health and wellness conversations and incredible guests that we have right here on Bloom. And don't forget to check out our podcast, The Bloom Health Club. You can catch it live on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays at 2 p.m. We take a deep dive and have extended conversations with some of the top guests that we have right here on Bloom. You can watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We hope you tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We are deep diving into health topics getting a lot of buzz about a study showing women are less likely to die when treated by female doctors. Top female surgeon Sharona Ross weighs in. And why the 9-to-5 workday originally created for men might not work for women. So stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom.
Content segments during Bloom were paid for by Renewal by Anderson of Tampa and Alpha Foundations.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.